Good morning. This is part two of my talking today. Part one I thought was a little bit interesting. I think you have to follow the link because I'm going to have it on another channel, I guess, but I'll put the link in the box. But in further discerning, if you want to discern what's happening with Flat Earth, I spent a lot of time discerning this movement, the knowledge. Before it was a movement, I was discerning things from my Garmin eTrex GPS and seeing the algorithms that they said how they do the GPS is not true. And other observations, seeing some of the heavenly bodies and what people call Venus, okay? And discerning different things. With this Flat Earth movement, when you look at characters in the movement, okay, understand the levels above us are getting smarter and better a lot faster than we are. They've been keeping us dumbed down. Well, they have been getting smarter. Now, with the internet here, it gives some of us who are code breakers the opportunity to see much more data and discern patterns. That's why I was very upset about a month ago when YouTube got rid of its activity feed. It's a direct attack on us code breakers that use YouTube by monitoring other people who are intelligent or who are quote-unquote enemies or, COINTEL. Because, see, once you identify a COINTEL and you understand some of the things there, then you can put a mask. Like when they talk, you know where the lies and where the truth come through, so you can put a mask on and you can apply a type of logic which you see, being a systems and computer programmer from, a long time ago, going back into the 1970s, understanding logic gates inside the machine. What's a logic gate? And basically, how you have to reduce everything in computers, down to this, people talk about ones and zeros. So all your talking has to be reduced down into symbols or patterns of ones and zeros. So as you're going through this reduction, down on the very low level are things called logic gates. And there are some gates there which I don't think should be there. And there's some things in language and in people's thoughts which I don't think should be there. And the construct of the language, like how people program computers in a language called C++, using a concept called object-oriented. Now, object-oriented programming language introduces a veil in a whole bureaucracy. So when someone sits down and writing a program, they're really not the ones. There's another level. You see, like in the old days, there was people like me who would write systems, and there might be other people who were systems programmers who just really deal with like taking, pushing stuff into a machine and taking out, configuring the metal on the machine. In the old days, those titles, you could wear both coats sometimes. But it's progressed now to where you have lots of veils of different programmers. So what object-oriented programming was, introduced another veil to the programming side. So the actual programmer, when he calls up a piece of data or doing something, he doesn't really know what he's doing. There's another guy back there that can change the definition. So when you call for Jesus, you get Lucifer. When you call for, mommy and daddy, you get two guys come in, because you can have two guys married. They can go back and change the definition of things which have happened, of archetypes. Change the definition of archetypes and classes and value, and then you're messed up. You thought marriage was between a man and a woman. Now you call for it again, you get two guys, instead of naming it something different. They have a clever way. But what I wanted to get to was a thing which is not really there. And they don't want you to be trained in it, and it's called reductive logic. It is there in a way. You can pattern it. I take that back. Let me take that back. Let me just talk about reductive logic. Okay? There's lots of ways you can look at reductive logic, but it's an intuitive type of logic. Not deductive, but inductive. It's a type of inductive type of logic where you look at what's not true. Okay? Where you look at what's not true. And when I looked at what they said the GPS was working, and how they said there was 24 satellites and 6 teams of 4 or 4 teams of 6 traveling so fast and figure out the circumference, and could see that what they were saying is not true. These satellites would have to travel much too fast and be some different whatever. You could see it was not true. So you can see some things about globe Earth, what's not true, about the 93 million mile story being debunked. Let me look at some notes here, because sometimes it makes more sense. When I was writing this, I was writing God as a concept, but wrote concert. A Freudian slip, huh? But looking at some of the dots about us, if you can accept that we had some type of ancient civilizations, pyramids, Atlantis, it's apparent that we are dumbed down, and we're part of a remnant civilization program. And we're being cultured as if we were an endangered species in a protected environment, aka cultured in a petri dish. Okay? Now this whole entrapment, when I understand how Jesus spent time in the desert, and then the devil took him up and offered him all the earthly kingdoms. that we're in an entrapped zone and Jesus is from the outside. I find a lot of these Bible Christian people, they're just studying the Old Testament, old Jewish stuff. These aren't really what I call true Christian. These, you know, this stuff about getting all into the Old Testament. These were some notes on Patricia Steer's Round Table Show. David Weiss's argument about the setting sun, I don't buy. And Jesse Spot says, don't look in the sun. We're told to not look in the sun. And he likes to leave, to have flat earth be a happy spot and leave 9/11 behind. I still like Patricia, though. I think that's what I wanted to talk about, really, was the Messiah Seed Program. See what I think is going on, okay, with the COINTEL is obviously going to be the Most High implementation of their PSYOP. So what is going to be the Most High implementation of their PSYOP on us now? Is going to utilize mind control at a minimum. Okay? Mind control at a minimum. So you have who are they going to mind control? They're going to look ahead and see who are the truth seekers, who are the people, who are the intelligent ones, who are the code breakers, who are going to be breaking our cover story. Let's go mind control them. And they do that to people from birth. And that's what's called the Messiah Seed Program. Okay? These things go back to Herod. And before, when Herod said, kill all, one of them was just born. They go to Herod and say, one of them was just born, you know, there was just a Messiah born. Herod says, oh shit, go kill all the kids who were 2 years and younger. Well, they I don't know how much they kill everybody again like that, but they do the Messiah Seed Program. I was targeted, okay? I was born in 1957, and not everything I've talked about. But I was targeted. I was a 5-star athlete, just groomed through things. Sometimes I could just sleep with my books. I didn't even have to open my book so many times in college and different things. Sometimes I could go to sleep with books. I was a code breaker, and as teenage boys can be little devils, at different times I was definitely on different sides, you know. So, in coming out of college, the different jobs I've done, I realized that through, okay, when I'm going to talk in a very high fashion about organized gang stalking, where the members of your family and associates will all be participating in a bigger script to guide you into different positions and different thoughts and different jobs. Okay? Because I ended up coming out of college and doing some incredible things right away. And within 2 years, I ended up working for someone at the world's largest bank on a project to break the security of the world's largest bank. Now, when the guy hired me, he told me he came from the NSA, okay, in the government. Now, back then, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't know, well, I just didn't think of anything. You didn't know about it, and I didn't really think more than two things, really. But, and after that, I was guided to Morgan Stanley and developed some of the most serious software that allowed program trading to occur and to them to survive and thrive, and where derivatives were born. So I know they use me, and they continue to use me in the most serious, or try and use me, manipulate me, or cage me in an altered state after like 2011 to 2012. The end of 2012, I think, was where it was serious. I remember going into Christmas. At Christmas, the altered state they had me in with this organized gang stalking here, where they can do things and make you believe things, and you don't know if you're half in a movie, in another time period, blended in with this reality here. But if you want to study about Messiah Seed Program, search Messiah Seed and Makalisi. Makalesi. You can search Jamzen and Messiah Seed too. I have some different little things with links to other people, really, in their research. So the Messiah Seed Program is part of the COINTEL to pre-identify activists, radicals, okay, and shape them and manipulate them as best you can from birth into certain sectors where you can control them, and their work helps you or benefit you. Now, Patricia Steere has the same gematria as my name, my real name, and I've documented these things in another video. So, but Edward Snowden is there, and Judas Iscariot is there. So I'm left to question whether Snowden is real. And I want to think, and I've talked to Patricia, and you know, I know most of us men have been fooled by women on a regular scale, so it's hard for me to talk with confidence in this matter, because my credibility when it comes to evaluating, but I still believe in Patricia Steere and her efforts. But she could, if she's a super spy, I don't know. But I really think a lot of these people are being slightly mind altered, you know, and trying to keep into the happy box about flat Earth through COINTEL efforts aside of them. See, I believe Patricia Steere is like me, but, you know, like a couple of years ago, not fully woken up and not aware of the mind control and how they can do these things. So they will put people around you, and they'll be like magnets to keep you in line. And I've discerned a number of them around Patricia, and it's hard to say whether those ones around Patricia are paid or possessed, you know. When I say possessed, it's like with the magnets, you know. There's some type of logical fallacy that people carry in their brains, and it's easy for them to tune to these logical fallacies and pull you that way, you know. A logical fallacy is going to have an inductive zone around it that's going to create a little chaos. So logical fallacies are like little demons. Yeah, then they don't settle because it's not right. But maybe, so I know some people, and I know some of these people take offense when I talk about them being mind controlled. We're calling them COINTEL. But this is how enmity works, though. I'm fairly confident of these things when I say about inner earth. And where people get a little trapped is, as soon as you think of inner earth and Lucifer and devils and stuff, you start to demonize them. Okay? And this is the thing, don't demonize the demons. That's not for us to do, and that causes more problems. So, that's why when Jesus came here, he didn't say to wage war against them. He said, try and do your best. If something happens, forgive people and find yourself at peace. So, in this trip in the rabbit hole, it's easy to either be caught by the ones who just want you to be happy and not understand the truth, and be caught by the truth, which can be hard to handle. So, getting the hypostatic balance of the truth of our existence here, if you have faith in Jesus Christ, and I'm not talking about following a religion that's already out there, but when I teach you about the Zen mind of Jesus Christ, if you can accept that, that can give you an armor. If you can accept that Zen mind, you can get an armor from it. If you're blessed, the Holy Spirit will come to you. If you clear out your mind from logical fallacy. Get the scales off your eyes. Understand you're in prison planet. And that we got the fallen angels who are running things. And they're in trouble. But it's not our job to judge them. If you're appointed a certain type of warrior, okay, but most people is sheep. They've been asleep, okay, and they're waking up. So remember waking up and coming into these things to remain as sheep and take a meditation with the knowledge, and not to go crazy or demonize the parties that you think have been perpetrating some part of this thing or taking advantage of it. Becoming judgmental with this knowledge, remember it's quantum. You have to maintain the perfect observer state. Okay, so you're not supposed to be emotional or bring your ego and things into it. And be like water. This is Jam Zen, bless up. From where I am,